49ers stop Jalen Hurts in that Philly offense? How did the Eagles slow down, run CMC, or is his leg going to slow him down? You're about to find out the answer to these questions. The line keeps moving, but who should be the favorite between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow? We debate. And Dame drops 60. AD returns, and the Lakers win, and Steph gets tossed but still beats Ja. What is happening out west? Let's go. What is going on? Everybody, I'm Max Kellerman. Welcome to this Just In, a fast hour around the world of sports and how I and some of my friends here see it.
It's fast.
That is NFL insider Dan Graziano. That is Super Bowl champ Rob Ninkovich, Captain Robvious. And
yes,
we start with Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously. Hurts has a mixed postseason resume. At Alabama, he was 3-1 as a starter in the playoffs. That's good. One of those wins was the game he was benched at halftime for Tua. That's not so good. After transferring to Oklahoma, he made another playoff appearance, and that's good. He lost to LSU and Joe Burrow. Burrow, by the way, had 400 yards and 7 touchdowns in the first half of that semifinals game. So Hurts is 1-1 in the playoffs in the pros so far. Last week's win over the Giants was the first by 30 points in a divisional round since 2011. Of course, the Giants aren't very good. Sam Acho is with us. Sacho, who do you like between Hurts and that Niners D?
Man, I love the Niners D, but I'm going to give the edge to Jalen Hurts. Think about this. In his one loss that he's played all season, the only game he lost, his team had a -4 turnover differential, right? He threw an interception, etc. But since then, this dude's been winning, and more winning. They can do it through the ground, right? We saw 268 rushing yards in last week's game. But they can also do it through the air. We haven't even seen A.J. Brown, at least last game, only had 3 or 4 catches. He hasn't even been fully used or utilized yet. And so imagine you got a rushing attack that's one of the tops in the NFL, and now you start adding in A.J. Brown to that mix and Devontae Smith to that mix. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they are going against the #1 defense in the NFL.
Nick, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. Again, you look at what they're doing offensively with Jalen Hurts back. I don't know if he's 100% back, but even if he's close to what he was last week, it was still pretty good. And then the 49ers defense, we know they're great, right? But can the Eagles run the football on the edge? I think the dynamic ability of Jalen Hurts running the football, taking shots down the field, that's really going to set them apart in this matchup. And let's not forget, the 49ers are going to have to travel all the way across the country in a hostile environment with a rookie quarterback. That's not easy, ever. So I'm going with the Eagles.
Graz, stay with me here for a second, okay?
I'm not going.
I'm going to reduce this to a Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy thing.
Okay.
But the reason I'm doing that and giving Hurts the advantage over the Niners defense here is because it's like in baseball. If you got a shortstop who can really hit, that's a strategic advantage because not a lot of guys can play the position, so fewer guys can hit, right? When you have two defenses like this, like which one is better? I don't know. They're both great, right?
49ers.
Then the Niners, maybe marginally, but the Eagles are great at getting to the quarterback and everything.
Great, yeah.
Then the advantage you have strategically at quarterback, to me, is really the difference. And so I can't, who has the advantage between the Niners defense and Hurts because the Eagles have the advantage because their guy can do more against the other defense.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, look, he is playing hurt, right? And that didn't show up to the extent that we might have been concerned about it last week. This is a tougher test. You mentioned the Giants. The Giants had an excellent season, but not on the level of the 49ers, I think, by their own admission, right? So the defense will throw things at him that he hasn't seen yet. And I think that how he reacts to that and how much they have to ask of him versus last week, I think will matter a lot, right? I think they got away with it last week a little bit. He's a week healthier, which is helpful too, but the 49ers might be able to exploit it on a level that their other opponents haven't.
Sacho, like last year, someone might have thought this was a stupid question, right? Maybe people think it is now. I don't know, but I don't. Looking at I thought Hurts was compromised against the Giants. You could see in the play calling early in the game, and yet second play of the game, he threw a dime down the field. Do you expect him to get more done through the air or on the ground?
No, I love your point, Max. I would say through the air, but I do love your point about, man, this would have seemed like a stupid question, but it's not. Jalen Hurts can do everything. We all know that. But what we haven't seen, and I go back to A.J. Brown saying, man, I'm not trying to be a diva, but I want the ball. Like, this dude averages 17 yards per catch. We saw the second play of the game, that long pass down the field, right? And so I expect, yes, him to use his legs, but I expect Jalen Hurts to get so much more done through the air, right? Off the play action, throwing it deep. Devontae Smith and his route tree. And you got A.J. Brown, the 1-2 punch. I expect that to be, even Dallas Goedert, right? A bigger effect. I don't think that the San Francisco defensive line is going to allow Jalen Hurts to run the ball. I think he'll be able to get loose a little bit, but I want to see that downfield passing game that we didn't see against the Giants.
Man, he can do it. Brock Purdy, meantime, the last man taken in this past NFL draft, could become the first Mr. Irrelevant to quarterback his team to a Super Bowl, and also the first rookie to do it. Threw for 214 yards against Dallas last weekend. No TDs, but also importantly, no turnovers. Purdy was asked if the Cowboys' defense was the best he's faced this season.
Yeah, I do. I think they, had a great front. I thought their secondary was really, talented and skilled. So all around, I think their scheme was really good too. So I do think it was one of the best defenses that I've seen, that our team has seen this year. And obviously, this week's going to be a great challenge with the front that Philadelphia has. So I thought it was a good game to have and, to work through and learn from, for this week's matchup.
Purdy will be just the fifth rookie quarterback to even start a conference championship game in NFL history. And as I mentioned, none of them have made it to the Super Bowl. Nico, what can Purdy do, and will he do it?
Well, I think at this point, what's he got to lose? He's a rookie quarterback in a position that nobody thought he would be in. So if he goes out there and performs and shocks the world, then really the pressure's not on Purdy. The pressure's on the other team. Just put Purdy in the right place, get the ball out of his hand, get it to your playmakers, and don't put too much on him 3rd and 10 plus. I mean, you're asking a young guy to come into a hostile environment and throw the football down the field. Make all these manageable down and distances, and I think it gives him a great opportunity. They just want to be in this thing at the end, and I've seen a lot of championship games comes down to the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. If he can manage to get through this game, not turn the football over, interceptions, fumbles, things that happen to young quarterbacks, I think it gives him an opportunity. But I don't think he's got much stress on him. You just go out there, kid, you go play football. You've been here, not in this position, I'm saying not a championship game, but you've played football a long time. Rely on your playmakers, get the ball out of your hand, give it to McCaffrey, get it to Kittle. Let your defense create plays and turnovers.
So he's been doing all year?
Yeah, that's it. So just do what you've been doing. We don't need you to reinvent yourself here in this game. Just do what you've been doing the last 6 to 7 weeks.
No turnovers, as I said, importantly, no turnovers. Sacho, I agree with Nico here. There's a difference between saying who has the most to gain and who has the most to lose, right? And I think the most to lose creates more pressure. And I think all quarterbacks in these conference championship games, all four, have an enormous amount to gain, and it's hard to say who has the most to gain. But I think it's easy to say Brock Purdy has the least to lose here. How do you see it?
Well, as far as least to lose, I would say Jalen Hurts has a lot to lose in this game. Think about it. This is the number one team in the NFC. This is a team that is loaded, right? Like, you got all these guys in free agency, and then in trades, you're one of the deepest teams in the entire NFL. You are poised to win. You're playing against a rookie quarterback, right? Like, you're playing against a team that, yes, they are number one. San Fran is number one in turnover differential, but you're number 3. People expect you to win this game. And so I would say that in this case, Jalen Hurts has more to lose, if you will, than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's a rookie, right? He's played well. If he loses, okay, well, it's Brock Purdy. But if it's Jalen Hurts, now, man, you lost to, yes, a good team, but to a rookie quarterback. And will this band get back together again and go this far? The last time the Eagles made it this far, they went to and won the Super Bowl. For me, that's a lot to lose.
Ross?
Sorry, the Panthers just hired Frank Reich as head coach. If anybody's watching, breaking news.
Breaking news?
Yeah, they announced it.
This just in.
Anyway, Frank Reich. Yeah, this just in. Exactly, just now. What were we talking about? Brock Purdy?
Yeah, Purdy.
Probably going to be their starter next year. I mean, I don't. At this point, like he's played well enough for that. Here we go, Frank Reich. What are we talking about, Frank Reich?
Well,
Frank
this just in. You just did it. You did it, Grant. You know on this show, if you say this just in, what happens? This just in. Yeah. The Panthers have hired Frank Reich as their new head coach. Dan, I don't know if you heard about it.
I did.
Reich was fired by the Colts this year after going 3-5-1 in their first 9 games. He is an original Panther who started at quarterback in his first 3 games. First 3 games of the franchise's history. Panthers have the 9th overall pick in this year's draft.
Panthers were looking for, look, they have to get the quarterback position figured out. It has been a night.